did you get on the floor?
Yeah, where's security?
I've still got
Security, security.
I can't say that.
Okay, thanks everybody for coming along. We're here to celebrate Michael's 30 years inside of Telstra. A very, like so many of us, and I look around the room and there's quite a number of people that are actually at that 30 plus years, and it's lovely to see some people that aren't quite there yet, which is good too. So, but a lot of us are well and truly past that point. And you know, it's fabulous. It is fabulous that we've got such knowledge within the company, and Michael's been doing lots of stuff to actually not only have knowledge inside the company but outside of the company, and I'll explain a little bit about that as we go through. Michael started in, look at this one thing, Michael sent us his note through with his history, which is great because we need to do that. One of the interesting things, he's so focused on work he's forgot to put in what his family situation is. So as part of your part of your thing, Michael, if you could let us know exactly about your family and who your wife is and children, that'd be lovely. I'd really appreciate that.
How long ago?
Hope you got. Hope you remember.
30 years.
I imagine that's around the 30-year mark as well, because that's where mine sits. Michael started in 1986 as a tech, doing data install. Moved from there in 88 into business and government, doing RAS provisioning. And then in 89 moved into corporate and government, doing in the internal comms team, doing voice and data consultation, and also RAS and DCRIS and MTOR provisioning. And it's really interesting, around that time I was doing RAS and CABS training, so would have been very close to being involved with some of the stuff you were doing way back then. I failed all the managers that come to a course. In 94, we had Michael moved into customer service information team and was a product specialist, AO4, so a clerk, if you like. Yeah. Goodness gracious me, another clerk in the place, it's great. And then in 98, moved into TNE as a comms specialist. In 99, went across to NDC and had all of the fun of working as a contract manager on projects like AAPT and OneTel and ULCZ, which for those of the group that are actually around in the OneTel days and even the ULCZ, wonderful projects delivered, but a lot of people burnt and hurt and damaged during that period as well. So in 2005, Michael come out of that and joined the wideband team and did project officer role. Was involved as becoming the IPAC SME in 2007, which led into the role that he's actually doing at the moment. But during that time, actually developed the IPAC team in Queensland. Went through and did a lot of training for external contractors in being able to use our TCSS tool, and continues to do that today. But after his move in 2013, is doing that on a national basis for all of our contractors rather than just focusing in Queensland. And he's been doing a lot of the IPAC TCSS administration work for me and my team over the last number of years, with Enzo Lorendi, particularly around the TCSS, which is really, without that support, our contractors wouldn't be able to do the things that they do for us in the work that they do. So, Michael, excellent effort over a very, very long period of time. I noticed that Neil's in, which is great, because Neil recruited you out of wideband to come across into our team a couple of years ago. So I'm sure that Neil may say some words, but if not, I'm sure others here have got something that they'd say. But I'd like to pass over to Mark to actually do the presentation to you for your 30 years, and congratulations. Well done. Someone's got their camera. Yeah,
This is one of the privileges I have in my job to partaking in some of these, and you probably all heard me say it before. You know, most companies and corporations, industry only dream of having people last 30 years. You know, in this company, you go 20 years, you consider the kid. You know, when you get to 30, you start to get a bit of cred, and then when you get past that, you know, people start thinking, yeah, you might know something. And we, you know, we are unique in that. The DNA we had, and you heard Michael's history here, the DNA that we bring, the knowledge and the depth, is second to none. And we, because it's always there with us, we tend to just accept it, you know, oh yeah, 30 years. That's pretty good. But I think it's very important that we stop and we really do celebrate, because people who stick with you for 30 years are true people who believe in the industry. And Michael's had a great career, and I hope many more years in front of you yet. So Michael, on behalf of all your workmates gathered here today, and Telstra management, I'd like to congratulate you on your 30 years and present you with this memento. Thank you.
Shirts.
Oh, do you want another one just in case?
Oh. Funny part, I know why. Holding me into the blokes. We'll be cutting next year. No, we won't.
got one issue. I was just a little bit disappointed actually. I missed out on the meme for the purple shirts.
If it's only most before Michael has his right to reply, we should open it up.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, yeah. Remember, you got the last word, eh?
Oh, okay.
Did you want?
Yeah, most of you I think know me. Michael used to work with me, the AIT team, and you know, we're a national team. I don't lead them any longer, but they are a national team. I'm sure they all like to wish Michael all the very best too on the achievement of his 30-year service award. So congratulations there, and I certainly pass on my congratulations too. Michael, to me, has always been very professional in his approach, and he's got the sort of the balance between that professional and also having a bit of fun along the way. And I really appreciate that. So at times it got a bit stressful, and Michael would always fire in an appropriate comment if he heard me yelling, or etc. So look, I appreciate that, just to sort of bring it back to reality. The one thing I don't understand is why he's got such dark hair, and we always sort of have a song for an old bloke like that. I thought he would have had real grey hair by now.
Just do the turn.
And he keeps boasting about that. But no, in all sincerity, all the best, Michael, for another at least 10 years to get up to that 40-year mark.
Maybe grey hair too.
And grey hair, all the best.
I just want, sorry, Michael. I just want to say a few words as well. I ran into Michael through those projects we don't mention through NDC Limited. And then had the fortunate pleasure of catching up with Michael when we were working on the wideband space again. And Nikita and I just share a desk, and you're the loud one on the desk. And I don't understand. You had the great Nikita, wouldn't you? It was all Michael who was the loud one.
You paid him. You must have paid him for that comment.
Why? What's wrong with that comment?
It's not true.
Anyway, we had a lot of good laughs, as you just, as Neil said, and yeah, so congratulations on your 30 years, and lots more ahead. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, Michael, I'll echo that. As you know, we worked together for a fair bit, very professional, methodical. You know, whenever you went into a meeting, you had a plan. So it's very good.
Mickey.
Uh-oh.
I was there in '86 when you joined, so I've known you the longest. A wonderful guy, a lovely, genuine human being, always friendly. Unfortunately, you support Liverpool, but you know, it's all right. And a wonderful wife, Val. And we have a special relationship there. So
Don't go
no.
Please don't go there.
When Michael joined, he had a bit of trouble understanding the Aussie humour, and he was affectionately known as LPP.
Oh, Bill, I said not to say that.
And I'll let you explain what that means.
Have you finished?
You're all say it. Which one do you want to know?
You gonna say it? Is he gonna say it?
I think Bill better.
Little Pommy Brick. He was quite offended. He realised that it was back in those days, and that was just
That's a
a lot
term
of
of
fun.
endearment. It's a lot worse.
And what are you now, Michael? What are you now?
LAP.
Yeah, little Aussie Brick.
Good
my bro.
Lovely to know.
Well said. Any others? Right, your turn.
I'm not ready.
You've had 30 years.
I walked in here this morning and I said to a few of the guys, I've had the fun of being that side. When I've been in these rooms before and seen people get their awards, and we've seen people leave the company, and in one way I was looking forward to today because yes, it's significant, and I'll tell you why in a second. But as you can see, it's emotional for me too, because I put an invitation out to the people I love, and you're here. I feel very honoured that you'd come. We've got cases where they've come from afar. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Your words this morning have created this. All of you. I'm very humbled, very honoured. I really think that. Whether I'm a little pommy prick or a little Aussie prick. So how did it all start? Well, Bill just said 30 years ago in 1986, I decided to leave the old country. I could say a few expletives, but I won't. Especially for the ladies, I won't. I worked in British Telecom for 11.5 years, so 30 is just a part of it. For 11.5 years in British Telecom, got to a point where the government then, of the day, decided they were going to privatise the company. I was in a position where I was receiving customer calls, and we think we have a problem here with customers. You go over there and find out what it's like. We're nowhere near the aggro that they have, or what they did have back then. I was so fed up, so disillusioned with the way the country was going and the way that British Telecom was going, I had to get out. I couldn't wait to get out. I came over here with a visa for 2 years, and my family said, you'll never make it. You'll go back to your mum, or you go back to this, you go back to that, go back to Liverpool even. I arrived here on a Sunday, and the only thing that I could wear for an interview was an English 3-piece woolen suit. The laugh, obviously you understand what I'm talking about. I drove into 131 Barry Parade, and the receptionist, I reckon if it was a flycatcher, that was it. They could not believe this guy turning up in this suit in the middle of April, where it was about 80 degrees Fahrenheit, is what I remember, whatever that converts to. And I said, I'm looking for a job. He said, no, we're not employing anybody in Telecom Australia back in those days. What you need to do is you need to go to the Gabba. Here's an ex-pommy who's come into a place, Gabba? Where the hell is that? What are you talking about? Where is it? Just point me in the right direction and I'll go. I walked from 131 to Gabba Towers in the 3-piece suit. How dumb is that? They say about blokes and Englishmen, don't they? I didn't even have sense to take the jacket off. I turned up at the Towers, and again I was met with a receptionist. They brought somebody down, and with a big bottle of water. I remember that. Within a week, I'd started work. Now, whether it was because of me turning up in a 3-piece suit showed some sort of passion, I don't know. But it seems funny how it seemed to have kept with me ever since I've worked in this company. I started working with Bill. You've heard the rest of the history here. But 30 years ago, I don't think I could have said then, I'll be in this company for 30 years. I don't think any of us know how long we're going to be here for. but to get an award after 30 years in a new country, for me, is quite an achievement. So in closing, I would like to say, not only thank you to each and every one of you for turning up, because again, I'm very honoured, very privileged that you do it. Stacey, thank you very much for putting the food on. Appreciate your effort. And I'd like to say also to the company, thank you for having me. I've had 30 great years. I'd like to say I'd like another 30, but I don't think it's quite possible. Maybe 10 so I can catch up with his great year.
You said you had 11 on top, but that's 41.
That's 41.
I'm starting to question the hair now. And a 30 on top of that. That'll get you to 71 years. That'd be a record, go for it. I won't be here. Someone will be. I won't even be here. You may have to present it to yourself.
No, I've had a great time, and it's a great company, there's no doubt about that. I've really, really enjoyed it. Yes, you have your moments, and yes, it is about the people. We always hear that, people saying it's about the people. I've had some excellent people to work with, I've made some excellent friends, and I've had some bloody good managers. Even you, Mark. Anyway, thank you very much, everybody, and just a rock. Carry on.